Hello everybody, I hope you're having a good week. If it's your very first time here, I upload Guild Wars 2 PvP gameplay in 4K every single week. If that sounds like your type of thing, hit that subscribe button. Doesn't cost nothing, helps me a ton. Now we got a really good gameplay here. We have a Gizmo owner on both teams, my team and the enemy team, so we got strong people on both sides. Now before we begin, I just wanted to highlight a nice comment I got on one of my recent videos. Nobody's getting rich off making Guild Wars 2 videos, so I really appreciate the positive feedback. Helps keep me going, helps keep me motivated to put these out. And here comes the build on the screen here. Devastation, Invocation, Vindicator, old school Vindicator, no salvation here. Just the way I like it. And yeah, without further ado, let's get into the gameplay. Alrighty, so like I said previously, nice high-rated game. Look at that beautiful gizmo shining on the way into mid. So at the start here, we're looking for a good target to pressure here. The enemy Guardian seems like an okay target for me to pressure. As he burns his RF, I accidentally used my rocket jump technique on him. I don't mean to do so, but it just happened. So anyways, I switched target over to him, and I'm telling my team, hey, this is a good guy to hit. And let's see if they listen. We finally get the down on him. My teammate goes down behind, but that's okay, because he should rally off this, and sure enough, he does. So now we're going to try and just grab this guy, doing a little death balling, but at a certain point, too many cooks in the kitchen, right? I had 3 teammates chasing that guy, so I decided I'm going to go somewhere else. So I go to cat mid, and here I've got the enemy Necro and the other enemy Necro. I've got one teammate with me here. So I'm trying to get some cap points on the node, and then the enemy Guardian comes in as well. So now we're 2v3, we're outnumbered. This is a tricky situation. So I don't really want to be too overly aggressive here, but I don't really want to give up this cap. I cannot tank 2 Necros. It's not possible in this build. You don't have enough Connie Clones. I pop up to hopefully peel for my teammate, but he is in the blender. I am in the blender. So I need to go super defensive mode. We're going to slow this down and talk about how I pull this off. So, chain some dodges and blocks together to make my way around the pillar to hopefully reduce the damage I'm taking. And I go on this terrain here, pop my heal, swap to the hammer. So I've said it before that terrain, kiting, movement is sustained in this game, and this is an excellent example of why. So I use this to get a little bit of a reprieve, use my riposting shadows to get some space, have to use my stun break here as well, and I'm just trying to get away. I've been super pressured, 3v1, and this Reaper's followed me. I just sneak away. He seems to get yoinked by my teammate, so awesome. But bad news, you just saw it there. That was the enemy thief right in front of me. I'm at 1,000 health there for a second, and he is shooting me. So I am in a tough spot here. Now I want to highlight something. Okay, so I just dodge. I'm trying to dodge some of his attacks, and my Guardian comes in. Enemy ports out, and watch this. I think he's going to port back in just because I know the cadence of thieves. Watch, I precast Greatsword 5 because I know he's going to be coming back, and by the time that the skill is casted, he's back trying to go for the kill, and that Greatsword 5 kills him. So a little bit of intuition, a little bit of foresight as to what I think the thief is going to do goes a long way and gets us that kill. So we'll speed it back up now, go back to normal speed, and we're cruising around the map trying to decide where to go next. See the enemy Necro is in a random spot, so I put some damage into him, and too many cooks in the kitchen, so I let those two 2v1 him. We don't want to be 3v1, that's too many people invested onto one guy, so I decided I'm going to go elsewhere. My Reaper needs help. My port unfortunately bugs out. Put some damage on the Deadeye because he is shooting my Reaper, but I'm too late. My port screwing up probably cost that teammate his life. So now, look at this. I'm using this piece of terrain here, this little sort of cheese wedge on Skyhammer middle to make that Deadeye's life a little bit harder. You see, when he came into the fight, he was trying to use that little piece of terrain as a advantageous spot to do damage from. And now my teammate comes in, gets a quick kill on the person who was a little preoccupied with me previously, and scares that Deadeye away because the Deadeye says, I don't want to be 2v1 against these two, so the Deadeye runs away and we get the node for it. So great rotation by my teammate there. And just off that, I'm just going to sit here and cap this node. So just taking inventory of the map, seeing who's where. I see the Deadeye there, I saw the Willbender, I see the Necro, and there's all of them. Okay, so I know that I'm in for a big fight here. Just plonking this guard with hammers from up top. Now watch this, this is another key moment, okay? So he jumps up to me, and let's see what happens here. He goes for a big burst on me. I use this terrain again the word of the day is going to be terrain, because he's going to drop a bunch of symbols on the ground, right? So he's got all his symbols down. I'm up above them so that they can't hit me. Now watch this. He's going to try and go for the decap. Only takes 5 seconds to get a decap, but the Skyhammer gets capped by my team at the same time. So I use the Jade Winds to CC him on the node so that he gets hit by the Skyhammer coming down. And that does enough damage to make getting the kill easy. So that was a pretty tight little play there. You know, jumping up to avoid the symbols and then coming back down and then CCing him on the Skyhammer to use that Skyhammer damage to get the kill. I was really really pleased with that. So now we're just roaming around. We've got this node here. I see that the enemy Necro is out of position and being attacked by my teammates, so I thought let's just help them secure that kill, because if it's presented to us, we should probably take that opportunity. So I'm really just kind of playing for the mid node, playing around it. You hear a lot of people say, fight on node, especially people in, I'm going to say, maybe high silver, low gold. You don't really want to just sit on a node and fight the whole game. What they really should be saying is fight for nodes. Not on nodes, but for nodes. You want to fight with some sort of intention, right? You win games by, you know, holding the nodes and the objectives more so than you do by getting just random kills. So you want to fight with purpose. You want to fight over a node. You know, you don't want to fight on it. So a little bit of a distinction there, something to consider in your future games. So that's kind of the mindset I'm going for here. So now check this out. I'm going to slow this down. Look, I'm looking to cast a Jade, but I think, no, I don't want to. So I cancel that. I cancel my Jade. Because these guys are in range of it, but it wouldn't really do anything. There's nobody up there. So I see my Willbender is going up to go do some damage. And so now I'm thinking, okay, let's get this Jade ready. So the Willbender goes up. Start spinning, and so I Jade, and look, I jump to get even closer, and boom, it connects with the Reaper, it connects with the Deadeye that are both up there, and my Willbender's up there like a bull in a china shop right now, just wreaking havoc. And look, my Willbender gets 1 kill on the Deadeye, and my Willbender gets 2 kills off of that. So there was absolutely no way for the enemy Necro or the enemy Deadeye to know that I was casting that Jade. I mean, they're, you know, behind a bloody wall, for God's sakes. Like, there's no way that they'll ever be able to dodge that. And so it worked out really nicely in that way. So we got 2 really clean kills there. Now, just looking around, seeing who's who and where's where. We're getting a little bit greedy, a little bit pull up in their spawn, and sadly my teammate is gonna end up dying for that. I try to peel for them, but unsuccessful. And I've put myself in a pretty crummy situation as well, because now I've got kind of the world on my tail here. I've got the Necro, I've got the enemy Deadeye. Look, Skyhammer's coming down, so do a quick dodge out of there. But I'm just so pressured at this point. And now I realize, oh my goodness, they haven't actually stomped out my teammate. I get pressured from the Reaper, which makes me drop down. This was a misplay. I shouldn't have dropped down. Dropping down ended up being my demise. As you see, once I'm down here, I'm pretty free pickings. So I was a little overcommitted for my teammate. I should have just kind of let nature take its course. But I tried to intervene and ended up paying the price for it. So something to think about. You know, can't over-invest. You know, sometimes you're going to have people die, right? You don't want to turn 1 death into 2. So, quick burst coming into mid to try and help my friend out, who is 2v1. Keep up the damage, keep up the pressure. Everybody's popped down but me, so I gotta get down there quick. I don't have my teleports ready, so I can't get that down there too quick. But my teammate pops up, and now I'm down here with the Reaper, the Condi Reaper, and we just nail him now. There we go. Okay, took forever, but we got it. You know, these good players, they don't die quickly, right? They have good kiting, they have good movement, they have good usages of their skills. It takes a while to kill these guys, right? So we get a kill on that guy, and the Deadeye comes for a quick burst. Doesn't really land anything super impactful. We scare the Deadeye away, and we get this node. The enemy Necro is there, now repping his beautiful gizmo. I am very much jealous of that. Peel him off of my teammate, and he goes away. My other teammate is in super deep. He's 3v1, so I try to get them off of him, but he comes back in like a madman and ends up going down. So we're in a really crummy situation here. We've got 4 enemies, and it's just my one teammate and myself at this point. Now, really, I should be cluing in. It's time to leave. It's time to kite. Okay, so finally I clue in, but I don't really make space. I end up kind of juking around a little bit. I really should have tried to make some space. Instead, look at this fake juke on the jump pad to try and get them to jump off, and one of them actually falls for it, but it wasn't quite enough. So I dilly-dallied a little too much, kind of weaving in and out of those pillars below the mid node. I should have actually just tried to make some space instead of doing some sort of weird pole dancing maneuver. It didn't end up buying me any time. It didn't end up saving my life. It was just yeah, unimpactful. So anyways, I see that our home node is not capped, so I'll roll through real quick and cap that. We got the Skyhammer, that's great. Yeah, so Vindicator, I've been... The funny thing about the hammer nerfs, right? I don't think that they really did all that much damage to Vindicator because of the fact that Vindicator does so much damage, right? Really, the damage that was done, and I think this was kind of misconstrued when I talked about the Vindicator nerfs. Really, I was more sad about the implications that the nerfs would have on rev specs other than Vindicator, because the thing about Vindicator is it does so much damage that, you know, you can nerf one of its weapons, and guess what? It's still going to be fine. Like, the damage on the hammer is still high. The damage on every weapon is still high. However, if you take the hammer on Herald or any other rev spec, the hammer feels really, really weak, really, really puny, right? Because Vindicator has essentially a 25% damage modifier for free, for very little. I think it's like, as long as you've dodged in the last 8 seconds or something like that, and you don't have full endurance, you are doing 25% extra damage on top of all the other ones that you get from Devastation and etc. Just Vindicator has a huge damage modifier. You compare that to Herald. Herald does, I think it's 0.5% damage per random boon it has on it. Like, it just doesn't compare, right? So, although the nerfs came for Vindicator, for the hammer, you know, really I wasn't sad for Vindicator. Vindicator is still the strongest rev spec, and it's still quite strong. But the sort of trickle down effect, you know, when you nerf a spec, you nerf a spec. You know, you nerf a trait, you nerf an elite spec. That's a nerf to a spec. You nerf a weapon, you're nerfing the whole class, right? The whole class gets nerfed. The whole class gets dragged down because everybody can use that weapon, right? I think that if Vindicator is overperforming, I think that they should nerf Vindicator. I don't think that they should nerf weapons. So anyways, we're just having a little bit of a scrimmage here. My teammate goes down, but check this out. There's a down body down here. So I'm going to try to do enough damage to rally my teammate, and I just barely get it. Oh man, that was a close one. But my teammate gets up, and with a vengeance, look at that, he avenges his own death. How cool is that? Good for you, teammate. Alrighty, we are 40 points from the victory here. We've got the Reaper visible. He's going to the Skyhammer though. So here we go. This is a do or die, make or break moment. We're about 50 points from one another. We need 50 more points to win the game. Do we go in the Skyhammer? Let's do it. So I jump in here. My teammate is 2v1. Lay down big damage on him. My teammate's super low, but does an amazing job of kiting and sustaining. One more burst on the Reaper here. Put him down. And there we go. We win the Skyhammer. And that should pretty well win us the game. So check this out. I want my teammate to die after or before I kill that downed body so that he will rally. So I hold off on damaging the downed body so that I can get the rally on the teammate. And just give him a little healing here with my urn and my shared healing stuff. You know, give him a little bit of love. Tap that hammer. And there you go. Let's go win the game. So that is pretty much the end of the game there. Thanks very much for watching to the point that you have. I really appreciate it. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. And yeah, that's just about all for me for this week. And I will see you all next week.